Inner peace. Words are not adequate, and I will do my best. Because it's that inner calm Ernest Holmes tells us about. And it's obtained through the knowledge and the knowing that we are divine beings. Breathe that in. Divine being. And what we believe is key. What we choose is key. We are one. We truly are all one. And I choose peace. And then I choose it again if I goof up. And I choose it again. And I choose it again. Constantly. Because guess what? I'm human. And so as we choose peace, we breathe. We take that breath in. It reminds us, that inner knowing. And then we can release when we breathe out and let go of any attachment and know that we are in a place of peace. And that is always available to us. The other thing is to trust. To know that the divine life is one life and it is flowing in and through you with grace and ease. And sometimes something that pops up that looks like your ego thinks, oh, this is not good, could be the biggest gift of your whole life. You never truly know. But if you're trusting, that's where you come from. And what you believe is what shows up. And then you can live in gratitude for knowing that. So I choose peace because that process does not fail. It always, always works. And it works within each of us, and as a remembrance. And I found this quote from the Dalai Lama, and it's in his foreword to Peace in Every Step by Thich Nhat Hanh. And it encapsulates it all so well. Although attempting to bring about world peace through the internal transformation of individuals is difficult, it is the only way. Wherever I go, I express this. And I am encouraged that people from many walks, different walks of life, receive it well. Peace must first be developed within an individual. And I believe that love, compassion, and altruism are the fundamental basis for peace. Once these qualities are developed within an individual, he or she is then able to create an atmosphere of peace and harmony. This atmosphere can be expanded and extended from the individual to their family, from the family to the community, and from the community eventually to the whole world. We have dominion over ourselves. Here is where we start. And we can consciously develop and expand the peace within us. We have that power. We have the ways to put love, compassion, altruism into our lives. There's no mystery there. The mystery is that it so beautifully spreads the magnificence of it. So love, of course, is the first one. Love of yourself, love of others. And it's complete unity with life. We are love in human form. We are spirit in human form. And knowing that we are truly one, oh my God, is the basis of it all. I have, don't tell anybody, but I have a stash of old Science of Mind magazines. And I went back and I found one from 1995 that had an international healing meditation in it by John Randolph Price. And he talks that one of the things that lines is, and to every man, woman, and child on earth I say, I love you, and you are one with me. I open my heart, and with the pure essence of unconditional love, pour out. And he goes on and on and on, which I won't. But that unconditional love, that essence of pure love. And we all. And compassion, the ability to recognize and see and appreciate when someone else may be suffering. That the feelings of kindness that naturally arise. And then we recognize it's all part of the human condition. So that that compassion rises up in us. And it's so funny because one of my other Science of Mind magazines talks about the Dalai Lama, and he's grumpy and angry. And we hold him up as inner peace. But he too chooses peace. He too chooses that. And we get to do that. And so it's kindness and compassion for others and our common humanity, which is often not so hard, and we can apply the mindfulness to that. But I have a question for you. Are you compassionate to yourself? Where's your self-compassion? Do you ever badmouth yourself? What does your self-talk sound like? When you do something you don't like the result of, what comes out of your mouth? Is it loving? Is it compassionate? I choose peace. I choose peace. And then, where is your work? Where do you need to practice? Well, if you're not being compassionate to yourself, that's where you need to practice. If you're not being compassionate to others, that's where you need to practice. So it's being aware and conscious and making that choice. Now, altruism, I was blessed this week. There's lots of examples. Giving it from your heart without expectation of getting anything in return. Giving selfless acts of kindness. So, I'm sure most of you heard that Robert F. Smith gave a few million to the Morehouse College graduates of 2019. He had it lying around. He wasn't going to do anything. Wow, it's awesome. And then the next little thing that came across, this was off the internet. So there's good stuff on the internet too. There was a young man in St. Louis who saw a man in a wheelchair who he was blind, partly blind. But the young man didn't know that. He didn't know he had lost his legs. And the tornado sirens were going off. And this man, Gregory Beck, was trying to come back from the grocery store and get home in time. And he was crossing the street, and all the cars were honking and yelling at him, get out of the way, get out of the way. And then Seth had his mother stop the car, and he spontaneously jumped out of the car and started helping Mr. Beck across the street, and so that he could make it home all the way before the sirens and the storms hit. So Seth said, "It makes me sad that people would rather fly by and honk at a disabled person than lend a hand. We need to be caring for each other and helping each other out." From a 16-year-old boy. And those are just two wonderful, but you've done stuff all the time too, I'm sure. There's all sorts of things that we do. And then life happens too. Things happen. One of the gifts of life is that you get to play with other human beings. And one of the challenges of life is that you get to play with other human beings. So Marianne Williamson talks about relationships being your central issue in your life. And that has been my experience. I've had that too. So one of the things that we have in our sacred covenant here at Sierra Center is an intention that the intention is to seek to heal upset, knowing disharmony is a call to go within. Because you need to start here. It's you that you have dominion over. You have the power to shift your inner state, to know that this is where it begins, is in here. And when conflicts come up, there's tools that we've been given and we can use. One of them is from Gary and Jane Simmons. They tell us these 3 magical little words when you're talking to someone. Tell me more. Tell me more. And truly, truly listen. I've recently had experiences where it was a workshop exercise where we listened to someone and then we did not reply or ask a question or respond for 30 seconds. So that person felt truly heard, and I didn't jump to conclusions, mouth off, do all, my sister will tell you all about this if you want to know. She's nodding her head no. But the thing is, it's magical to shift the energy. And you're coming from peace, you're choosing peace. Because, I don't know about you, I see headlines screaming at me, and then I'm going, no, something's not right. And then you dig deeper, and it's like, that's not, they don't match. It's not, anyway. I keep going there. Mm-hmm. So it's a conscious shift from conflict to peace. It's inside, it's you. And if you're thinking it's out there, is it in your hands? Do you have any power to shift it? Release it to prayer. That's what you have dominion over. That's where you can do the inner peace. Affirmative prayer. We use it here all the time, every day. And we teach classes in it too if you want. So no matter what, you can go in and do affirmative prayer for yourself and for the world. Thich Nhat Hanh has a walking meditation for anger. How many of you get angry? How many of you admit it? Okay. It's very brief, so I'll read it to you. Breathing in, remember breathing, I know that anger is here. So sometimes it's just admitting it. Breathing out, I know that anger is me. Breathing in, I know that anger is unpleasant. Breathing out, I know that this feeling will pass. Breathing in, I am calm. Breathing out, I am strong enough to take care of this anger. And picture walking in that forest or a favorite garden. Breathing in, breathing out. Another tool that we've been given, and most of you will know this one, is the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personal. Hello? We're in relationships. It's usually not have anything to do with you if they're anyway. Not going. We can do another talk on that something. Then the other one is don't make assumptions. And I also paraphrase that and say don't jump to conclusions. And then always do your best. Always come with what you got and deliver it and give it selflessly. So I wanted to share a couple things that I do that have worked for me that you may want to steal, that may work for you. And one of them is kind of a big shift for me. And that is, I have learned the hard way, and I'm still learning it, that procrastination does not add to my inner peace. Anybody? Okay. Gary, good job. Just teasing. Okay. The other thing is surrounding yourself with beautiful people who come through. I have a cat sitter that I adore. And I can leave my beloved Missy and Zoe and fly to the other side of the world. And I have inner peace and knowing that everything is perfectly fine. Such a gift. Such a gift. And when I get on the airplane, and this is every airplane I get on, when I'm in my seat, I do affirmative prayer. I even bless the baggage handlers. Everybody remotely connected with the flight, the air traffic controllers, everybody. And that is like, I didn't take off without doing affirmative prayer. And that brings me inner peace. That peace of mind. And then I don't know about some of you, but you might have noticed that there's a lot more information out there about fire. So I've been working diligently on the inner peace around fire. And one of the things that we did, that we were blessed to do, is there was a Friends of Banner Mountain evacuation, what to expect, what to do. And one of the things they said is, don't panic. That inner still point. I'm working that muscle. I'm making sure it's strong. And I'm preparing. I'm doing everything that's in my hands to make sure that I'm as prepared as possible. And that brings me inner peace. Because that I can do. And if I get all that done, I will be so impressed with myself. Because there's a lot to do. I haven't even got my go bag yet. I know, I gotta get my go bag. So if you don't have a go bag and you live in this community, and you don't know what it is or whatever, let me know. I will be glad to share the information. The other thing is if you have something nagging in your body, or something that they want you to check out, whatever healthcare professional you feel is in resonance with you, don't wait, don't procrastinate, get it checked out so that you're not thinking about it. Climate change and world peace. Big stuff to pray on and do my part. Less plastic, whatever. There's so many things. And here's one that actually really helps me. And that is focus. Do the next most logical thing. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. What's right in front of me, that's what I'm supposed to do. So if I'm supposed to get dressed and everything, I go take a shower. The cats are come climbing all over me, I go feed the cats. I don't think about the other stuff. I needed to write a talk yesterday. So that's what I was doing. That's what was called for. You don't think about what's after that. Because guess what? There will be something after that. You don't have to worry about it. It'll show up. I do make lists sometimes so I don't forget stuff. But it's so powerful. And what is mine to do in this moment? And that's where I put all of my attention. And the inner peace that brings to me is awesome. One last thing is that I struggle with this one too. Eating mindfully. I don't know how many of you scarf your food. I'm not going to ask that question. Because one bite at a time. You're honoring your body. You're honoring the planet who gave you the food. and you're mindful. You're nourishing your soul, inner being. It could be a cookie. Thich Nhat Hanh has a meditation that you do with a cookie. But I didn't want to bring cookies for everybody. And I don't eat cookies much. Don't tell anybody. Okay, I did the other day, but anyway, okay. But inner peace is totally in our hands. It's amazing. Marianne Williamson, this is a quote, she said, "Ego says, once everything falls into place, I feel peace." Beat. Spirit says, find your peace, and then everything will fall into place. It's all the inner work. And then you're living in the flow. Then you're living in the flow. You guys all know the golden rule. And also, in this day and age, and probably forever, if you look back at history, be conscious of what you consume from the media and the news. One of the things I did is I took a vacation from the news. Guess what? The world didn't end. And I felt really, really good. Because I was gone from, whatever. Radio, internet, TV, all that stuff. And if it's really, truly important that you know, you will find out. If it's really, truly important, you will find out. Yeah. And another thing is you're already doing it. Your inner peace is you're here. You're sitting here. You're in fellowship with each other. We're listening together. And doing that in workshops and meditations, Wednesday meditations here. We do it every week. And then we talk. I think it's almost no holds barred, right? Yeah, anything you want to talk about. Yeah. And so it's we all know these things. The daily practice, all that kind of stuff. Meditation, journaling, prayer. And we get busy, but your inner peace is a core. It's a starting point, and it affects your whole life. Your experience of life is everywhere. So, if you want to be more mindful, I do recommend this book, Peace is Every Step by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's an old classic, but if you like it. And the other thing about all this stuff is, and I was talking to someone right before service that reaffirmed this, you may have a spiritual practice, and you've been doing it for years. It might be a little stale. You might need to change it up a little bit. Shift and try something new. And if that works, great. If it doesn't, try something else. And then establish a firm habit and practice. Because choosing peace is like a muscle. You're working it. Yeah. And living the science of mind, inner peace, it's one of the gifts. Ernest Holmes tells us, we should come to consider the law and the spirit as friends and think of them as such. In this way, we shall gradually go from good to more good and from peace to greater peace. This is the natural unfoldment of reality through man. We should expect the best and so live that the best may become part of our experience. So let's take this within. I open up to the magnificence of the universe. And I do so with such great gratitude and appreciation for that creativity, that love, that altruism, that compassion that is my birthright. And I know and accept that that outpictures through me and through every single individual in the Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. That we truly are blessed as a community. And as we come together to grow and to choose peace in each and every moment, we celebrate life. And our lessons are beautiful and loving together. And I know and accept that each and every individual, even remotely connected to the center, is uplifted and lives in abundance, perfect health and well-being, and their relationships are joyful and deep and loving. And I also know and accept that we all do marvelous, amazing work in the world, that we come forth giving our best, that we are love in human form, and the surrounding and love and life is truly our birthright. And I accept unexpected pleasures and treasures for each and every one of us. As we are inner peace, we walk in inner peace. And the law says yes. It always says yes. And I celebrate this knowing, this certainty, this appreciation, this deep, deep gratitude for that law in action. It is done to me as I believe, and I believe that peace in the world is true. So I let it go, and I appreciate and know and seal it by saying together with you, and so it is.